Can you see?
Yes, Rinpoche.
Yes. All mothers and Jin beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles on me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and nations, may they experience happiness, be separate from suffering, and safely away to reach them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious Buddhahood. All mothers and Jin beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and nations, may the experience of happiness be separate from suffering, and the safely ways to reach them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Dala don't worry, no parasipe, Tarba dam jen jembe barde ju baraseba dam je so sepe. Manam ga dan nyambe zemje dam je dewa dan de. Donghara dang chara nyorda lana me ba yanda bara zobe sanjo. Rumbo je da bara sa. The Sandra I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. Under death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. I take refuge in the Kandaru Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of Mandalas or Yadams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in the noble Dakas and Dakinis and the Dhamma gardens, possessors of the eye of wisdom. And until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddhas, take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in example of the Bodhisattvas, as previous Buddhas ambassador enlightenment and the progress on the Bodhisattva's path, too for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to bodhicitta, and I apply myself to accomplish the stage of the path. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge unto enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mothers sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separate from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. I bow down respectfully with my body, speech, and faithful mind to all Tathangatas in the 10 directions. Those who have already reached the Tathangata state, those who are reaching it at the present, and those Tathangata state to come. Through the power of Samdup Bardo's prayers, may all Buddhas manifest vividly in my mind. I posted to them, multiplying my body as many times as there are atoms of the earth. In each atom I visualize as many Buddhas as there are atoms, surrounded by countless Bodhisattvas. Thus all space is filled with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I praise all Buddhas through manifesting, chanting, expressing the great ocean of the excellent qualities. To all Buddhas I make offerings of various pure flowers, flower garlands of music, honoring the oils, manifesting light and fragrant incense. I make offering to the offering garments, perfume and purple, for the highest moon and arranged in the most beautiful way. I will visualize the highest and most extensive offerings and offer them with great faith to all Buddhas. I posted to the Buddhas and make offering to them following the deeds of great Bodhisattva Samandabhara. I confess to you, Buddhas, whatever negative actions I have committed due to the power of anger, desire, and ignorance. I rejoice in the merit of all Buddhas and the 10 directions of great Bodhisattvas and the Pakshika Buddhas. Those who have attained Aharasha, those who have entered the path of Aharasha and all other beings. I recourse to all great protectors and the Buddhas to turn the highest way of Dharma. as the light dispelling the darkness of beings in the 10 directions and leading them gradually to enlightened states. I supplicate those Buddhas intending to pass into Parinirvana to living long for as many eons as there are atoms of the earth, in order to benefit all beings. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying for the sake of enlightenment of our sentient beings, all these are dedicated. The ground is sprinkled with the scented water and the strewn with the flowers. It is adorned with the Meru, the spirit mountain, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. As Buddha fair, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fair. To the Lamas who possess the Trikayas, I offer auto in a sacred offerings with my body, word, and all that is whisper. Please grant me the spirit realization enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offering, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of enlightenment of our sentient beings, all these are dedicated. Om Guru Rina Mandrala Panza Manga Samandra Savarana Samaya Om. Anchor and equal refuge on the name of the world. Your fame provides the 3,000 words. You are the way toward Yadara with water. I bow at the feet of Father Jiti Sungong. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassion, one grant your blessings. Dispel darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize unlimited nature of mind. Please turn the way of the Dharma of the two vehicles and the combination according to disposition, the likewise the mental capacity of sentient beings. His wisdom is brilliant like the sun, free of claws of two words, and perceive the various steps of knowledge in the true nature. For this reason, he holds the wisdom text at his heart. He has compassion for all beings who suffer from the darkness of ignorance in the presence of samsara, as a father for our only son. Like a thunderclap, he wakens those who are sleeping in ignorance and losing the charm of karma through the 60th branch of Haramana's speech. He wears the wisdom silver to cut the settling of suffering, to dispel the darkness of confusion. In the Bodhisattva form, he is pure from beginningless time, fully accomplished in the 10 levels and perfect in the body of all knowledge. I supplicate human judiciary adorned by the 112 Sons of Buddha to dispel the darkness of my ignorance. No one gets Shoramo, 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 one gets Shoramo. Wange Joromo, 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 Wange Joromo. Wange Joromo, Wange Joromo, Wange Joromo, Wange Joromo, Wange Joromo, Arabasana, 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 Arabasana. Arabasana, 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 Arabasana. Arabasana de 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 Arabasana Arabasana de 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 Arabasana Arabasana de Arabasana de Arabasana de Arabasana de Arabasana de Arabasana de Arabasana no Arabasana de Arabasana de Arabasana de Arabasana de Arabasana de Arabasana Arabasana de 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 no Arabasana de Arabasana de Arabasana de Arabasana de Dongge Doje Yaje Reizon Dong Yin Je Mad Deja Bunjong Ba Surja Lembo Tabara Jipa Shaja Jarve Shala Zorwan De Doje Janjen De Lo Naro Marba Mala Jija Gambo Ba Bam Oju Ba Yarwan Digong Baju Lama Nala Zorwan De Rome Jija Yanja Bodang Som Sanje Genje Ngo Nye Rangsam Jiga Ngo Som Dongze Sawe Lame Yala Zorwan Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Khenpo.
Dashidelek, Rinpoche.
Good morning, Khenpo. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning, everyone. Howdy, howdy.
Morning, Sangha. Rinpoche.
Morning.
Morning.
So now I'm going to share Bardo teaching. So followed by the last week soul offering. Soul offering we're going to practice tomorrow. So soul offering last week we talked when I share is talk about a lot of Bardo beings. So that's why it's very good to you can hear 6 Bardo again. Some already has 6 Bardo teaching many times. I think some has already memorized everything. Some is could be new beginning today, so it's good. Even we hear many times, it's reminding again. So if we don't hear again and again, then due to the samsara conviction is worldly activity so powerful and easily this practice dharma or you hearing the even you heard the 6 Bardo teachings before easily gone. So forget. That's why we have to hear again and again, have to cultivate and meditate, stuck in the mind strongly. So that's why we have to share again the teachings. You have to listening again, cultivate again. So that's really helps. Only one time hearing Bardo teaching, if you know what means 6 Bardos, that doesn't much help you. Of course, first you have to know, but then it's hearing again and again become mind is used to habituate. So then you can cultivate, then you can meditate. So used to in this life, then we can use that these practices in the Bardo. So that's why I'm going to share again. This teaching today, I'm going to share with you the PowerPoint through the screen share. That's okay for you, everyone? I can send it to chat room, but I think sharing the screen also okay, right? Okay.
Yes.
Could you do both?
Yeah, please do both.
So I cannot do both.
Oh.
I can do one only. So, okay, so let everyone focus on the screen share then first. Yeah, one is better.
We wouldn't have to take notes if we had a copy now.
Oh, don't take notes. Don't take notes. Don't chatting any message in the chat room. So your thoughts also distracting others too. You can have thoughts yourself, but don't distract other people. That's why just be calm, relax, and keep your finger free from the tapping. Okay. Liberate that thought. So this 6 Bardo is come from learning Buddhism book, and so Lens he created this. No, this one is created by I think Gary. So I could be no wrong. And he put a couple of pic images with this Bardo and make very short way presentation for the beginners. So that's why I'm sharing with you. If you have learning Buddhism book, then have more information. Here is very short, come from the learning Buddhism. So that's a source of temporary happiness, permanent happiness. Can you see the screen share? Okay. Yeah. Then we go to next one. Okay. What is a Bardo? So today I'm going to share with you the Bardo. So you have to know what is the Bardo. Of course, mostly you know the Bardo, but you know we have to hear again. I just talk to you, and also we have more new people. Intermediate state or the time between. So that is Bardo. Intermediate state or the time between. And then this one has a specifically intermediate state. The time of between is when we die and undertake rebirth. So that is just generally everyone knows that called the Bardo in the Buddhist country. I mean, they don't know the 6 Bardos. The 6 Bardo is more education. People know 6 Bardo. Not publicly recognized 6 Bardo. Usually you talk Bardo, especially in the Buddhist countries, the only thing Bardo means is when we die and undertake birth, that state time between is called the Bardo. But in this one, it's more bigger picture. 6 Bardo means more bigger picture. It's all the samsara is included in this 6 Bardo. Okay, so you have to think about this. Bardo means specific Bardo or generally Bardo. So today here, I'm going to share with you generally Bardo, and of course then go to more specific Bardo. The period lasting from when something begins until it comes to an end and something else comes into being. So right now also we are in the Bardo, because when we beginning this teaching until end of the teaching is also starting from the, with something beginning until it comes to an end. So it's called Bardo too. It's coming here also 6 Bardo, one of the meditation Bardo. So when we starting teacher until end of the teaching is called meditation Bardo, part of meditation Bardo. So that's why this is a little bit, complicated way to sharing 6 Bardo. But if you know, make sense and understand clearly what means Bardo. It is not only the term occurring after death as commonly taught. See, commonly taught, Bardo means after death, then take rebirth between. But this one is more generally we're sharing Bardo. It's term between. So that means like something begin to end between also can call Bardo. This one we're sharing here is a 6 Bardo, but one day we have many Bardos. Within one day have many Bardos. This generally in the samsaric beings generally goes 6. This 6 between somewhere else. There are 6 Bardos. So mention about the names here. Natural Bardo of birth. Natural Bardo of birth. Bardo of dreaming or delusion of sleep. Bardo of meditation or meditative concentration. Bardo of death. Bardo of reality or inner nature, dharmata. Bardo of becoming. So here talk about the 6 different kind of Bardos. This is just generally whole samsara included everything in this within 6 Bardo. So the first one, there are 6 Bardos, is natural Bardo of birth. We have a birth Bardo. So now you say where we are. We are in the Bardo. Which Bardo? We are in the birth Bardo, okay? So you don't think I'm not in the Bardo. Long as you are in samsara, we are in the Bardo. Okay, one day we are free from samsara, then we are not in the Bardo. So we are in the Bardo, nature Bardo of birth. Then Bardo of dreaming or delusion of sleep. So long as you go sleep, long as you have a dream, so that also Bardo too, because it's a delusion, not waking state. So that's why we call Bardo of dreaming or delusion of sleep. So this is a more delusion. Yeah, usually daytime you wake up and then you go to far sleep and you get dream. So that is more delusion that you just generally you wake up. Wake ups, I'm not talking about waking up from samsara, just, morning when you wake up, then you do daily or bodily activity. Comparing that to you go for sleep. Sleep is more delusion, more, not true. Comparing to, when you wake up doing daily activity. So that's why also different than your daily samsara activity. That's why also called Bardo. Long as you have, long as you need sleep, long as you have a dream, you have a Bardo. That's also called Bardo. Okay, if you don't need to go sleeping, you don't have dreams, so you don't have this delusion of sleep Bardo. Then Bardo of meditation or meditative concentration. Okay, so this one we cannot say all samsaric beings have. So this is like something for spiritual practice. So people who follow the spiritual and not engaging samsaric activity. So that also can call Bardo of meditation, because meditation is too very general. As long as you engaging with, I think, spiritual connection, something, not worldly activity, that is we can call Bardo generally. Meditation of Bardo. Specifically, meditation of Bardo is like you really into samadhi. Yeah, so mind is not deluded, you really into samadhi state, then it's called Bardo of meditation. Generally, we can call today, right now, we starting teaching, until end of the teaching, also we part of that too. Meditation or meditative concentration. Then that three of them is a part of the Bardo of birth. So not separate. As long as you have a birth Bardo, it's a living Bardo. Usually we call living Bardo. In the living Bardo, you can go sleep, you can have a dream, you can go meditate. So that's all part of the dream Bardo. I mean the living Bardo, birth Bardo. The Bardo of death is totally different experience. Bardo of death is. So you 100% knows you're going to die, not going to survive. Whatever you do cannot spend or create a longer lifetime. Whatever you treatment, medicals, rituals, not possible to get back your life. You 100% you'll get decision, time, recognize dissolution, recognize big dissolution. So then that time you have totally different experience, because your feelings are totally different. So we think about someone get cancer and then hear from doctors say or you're going to stay only 1 week, 2 weeks. So when they hear message, then that person is feeling it's not same as before. That person has totally different experience. The feeling is experience is changed, everything. So that is called death Bardo. Then it's like step by step, dissolution is always Bardo of death. Bardo of reality or in the nature of Dharmata. So that is when dissolution stage. It's a dissolution stage. We're not talking about the Yadam deity visualization dissolution stage. Our body dissolution, stage is 5 elements dissolved to 5 elements. So consciousness is of course dissolving or separate from body, and then that time you have different kind of experience. So that is called part of reality or inner nature Dharmata. And then part of becoming, after all dissolution is gone, then mind is lifted from the body, and 3 days after, then you have this part of becoming. So that's all the after the taking rebirth again. So come back to again part of birth. After death, so then part of becoming. So this is some pardos stay very long time, some is short. So dependent. Okay, so that's the summary about this 6 pardo. And I share with you the pardo. Generally, Buddhist people, pardo means in the last one, pardo of becoming. They don't talk about the other is pardo. So if someone don't have education in the Dharma, you go to in the Buddhist country or you are in the pardo, they're very upset, anger maybe. Not happy to hear that. They say, I'm not dead. What are you talking about? Okay, so that's why you have to know, usually we didn't call the pardo, other part is like only who know the study Dharma, there know 6 pardo. No, this one go to here. 6 pardo, second existence. Okay. Some people need the vision to learn. So you see this, then you get. So where we are right now, number 1, I think pardo of birth pardo. Then within the birth pardo has dreaming and meditation together. So birth pardo is one of the images shows dreaming, one of the images shows meditation. So that is a part of birth pardo, living pardo. So right now we are within this 3 state. We are in the within 3 state. So when you wake up this morning, you did usually what do you do? Take the shower, create a breakfast, all these stuffs, use what you have to do, and calling phone or send text messages, emails. So that is a part of your birth pardo. We taking care of the samsaric daily life. Then right now we are in the meditation pardo, because when we started teaching Dharma, so this is we are meditation pardo. So tonight when you go for sleeping, and then you get dreaming, so that is a dreaming pardo. So it's within, say, we're doing this within 24 hours, we have these 3 pardos together. If long as you go follow the spiritual. If someone no follow the spiritual, could be they don't have a meditation pardo. They keep missing that part. Yeah, other 2 is 100% sure. So, all samsaric beings. Spiritual people, and for kind of our situation, we do every day practice Yadam deities, meditate. You know, we have 3 of this together every day, 24 hours. The end that after is death, Bardo comes. So after death, Bardo, reality, Bardo arise. Reality, Bardo is after becoming Bardo, and then becoming Bardo is the usually generally people call becoming Bardo is a Bardo. Just I talked with you. Some are education people only. Education means who don't have teachings for Buddhist. You know, generally Buddhist people only this 6th one is becoming Bardo is the recognized Bardo. Okay, so this Bardo of birth, this is a samsara. So you have to see where you are. I don't have to tell anything. This one is individually you have to recognize. So this is all just go cyclic existence. And actually death also nothing bad. So because you get rebirth again. And old also not bad because you get a new again. Yeah, new. But then young also cannot be proud because you're going to, your facing is to the old and death. So old death is you don't have to upset because facing to the birth again and the young and again. So this 6 within this image where you are doesn't matter. It's kind of you have to think about economity. Okay, because it's cyclic existence. So nothing is permanent, always changing. Everything's a change. Something permanent, we cannot change, then we really upset. I don't want to start this one. But everything's changing. So whatever we have right now, that is also going to change. What we don't have right now, we are going to get that too. So that's why cannot attach to right now what we have. Cannot upset what we don't have right now. And everything's changing. So that's one natural part of birth. Naturally, this is some nature of samsara. Begins when we enter a womb, ends at death. The Bardos of meditation and dreaming are experienced with the Bardo of birth. So this, you know, Bardo of meditation and the dreaming are part of the experience within the Bardo of birth. So why we have to share, you know, Bardo of birth is first, so important. Practitioner, Bardo of birth, Bardo, living Bardo is most important. So you have opportunity to change other ones is in the Bardo of birth, Bardo of living. Other, you know, Bardo of death, Bardo of experience, reality, Bardo of becoming, is we don't have a choice. So that's why we have to know this Bardo of birth, Bardo of living is very important. So Bardo of living is controlled by death Bardo and intermediate state, you know, experience, reality, and the becoming Bardos. So nature Bardo of birth, then things that must be considered in the Bardo of birth. How much time do I have left until I die? Because I will die, what is the most important thing to do with this life? And this nature of Bardo of birth is most important. You know, we have to think about, not ignored. So what do we have to think about? Consider in the Bardo of birth, how much time do I have left until I die? So we have to cultivate that. How much time we have no left, you know, because life is a thing about impermanent, changing. So we really don't know. So we sometimes we think, oh, I goes up to 90s, 80s, 90s, 100. But that also no one has certainty and sure. No one. So the death is not due to the age. Death is not actually due to your healthy also. Death is not due to your environment, your conditions, your power, matter, and whatever you have a power, many samsaric, levels. But death is not due to that because death is uncertainty. So usually we think, okay, we're going to really old, then we die, but that is good luck. If we old die, is good death. We already have this samsara. We know everything. But most people don't have that opportunity. They die natural disaster. One natural disaster, how many people die? They never ever thinking about they're going to die. No time to think, just gone. That's it. One is instantly gone, the life. So that's why we have to cultivate this impermanent. Then you also not really go to in this image. You can have death in the baby. You can have death is a child. You can have death in the teenager. You can have death in the adult or older age. So when we die older age, it's good, because we didn't death in the baby, child, teenagers, or adult. So many people die in the babies. Some never born. It's die in the mother's womb. Some just birth, then they die. So that's why right now we are in this level. That's all is amazing. Because so much causes of death. So we didn't get conditions until now we are alive. So that is amazing. So much like right now in the world is causes of death. Used to less causes of death. Maybe 1 century ago is less of the causes of death. Now it's more causes of death. Because due to this, all the development or what is changing. Think about airplane, boats, cars, machines, weapons, or so many we create for death, not let to die naturally. Some saric beings create for causes of death so much. So due to ignorance, yeah, and that's why we have so much death. The natural disaster is no choice. So one natural disaster is like dying 100 people. That's why we have to think is for impermanent cultivate, and we don't know how much time do I have left until I die. So because I will die anyway, we die, we are not free from death. So no choice. Even you don't want it to come tomorrow, no one has choice. So we cannot control even 1 hour. So if you don't want it, and this teaching is no choice, time is gone. So then how can control life? So that's why 100% sure this teaching is going to end, right? 100% sure this day is going to end. So that's why 100% sure our life is going to end. One will die. So then what is the most important thing to do with this life? So that's why just told you this birth Bardo, living Bardo is most important for the meditative practitioners. We can think about what is the most important thing to do with this life. So we're going to think and cultivate again most important, what we can benefit when we die, only virtuous deeds benefit us when we die, which is harm for us, harming our, when we die, what is the harm for us? Our company is no virtuous deeds. And what is the benefit for us? Good company, when we die, is virtuous deeds. So that's why we have to take this impermanent, we have to follow by cause and effect, karma cause and effect. Okay, so then part of dreaming or delusion of sleep. So I think I'm not enough to finish this. So that's why when we die, it's most is Dharma practice. So that is only benefit for us. Dharma practice only is our, something for we can carry for support us in the death Bardo and the becoming, the reality Bardo and the becoming Bardo. So last three things is dependent in this birth Bardo. So that's why birth Bardo has most power. And we have to use that correctly. This samsaric beings, this birth Bardo is wasting. Wasting treasure is wasting. Nagarjuna, he's talk about example, all these samsaric beings, wasting is the birth Bardo is. Something we have a treasure, like the special, very like special treasure object, like kind of something, okay, physical, maybe costs of like billions of dollars things. So you don't recognize that, and you put that in the garbage can. Yeah. So you don't use the treasure object. Don't recognize you use for the treasure, garbage can. So then that is the really foolish person or really crazy person, right? So you don't recognize so important treasure object you use for the garbage can. Then what do? You suffering, hunger, thirsty, cold, because you don't have enough. So suffering like that. We have this precious human body not taken care correctly, doing unnecessary. It's so important, caring every day. So important. Something really benefit for us when we die, not recognize. So don't think about that. And nothing important. So much pay attention, so much focus. So that's the samsaric beings doing, That's why all these samsaric beings only stuck with so much temporary things, so strong fixation. You can do, of course, something like we living, long as we need have this body we need or take care, but so strong fixation, grasping to in the worldly activity, samsaric things. Then when we the die, nothing is behind anything good, karma, virtuous deeds. So that person has life, human being's life, the whole life is resting. Same is like I just example treasure object. Use the garbage can, never even recognize, never even use correctly. So that kind of all this samsaric beings doing. So now we have to recognize that what we're doing ourselves. We know pointing or other beings doing bad, but we have to pointing ourselves. We have this treasure object, human being's body. So we have to recognize and mindful, try to do correctly. and use correctly. Much of what we can do. So put more effort for, like something for cultivate virtuous deeds. And even you cannot put the first purity dharma, but at least not last one. You're just 10 passing. Yeah, it's at least like second, third purity. If you have 100 purities, one day you have important things to do. Of course, cannot be first, second, third, maybe at least like fourth, fifth. Dharma is purity. Then not 6, 7, 8, 9. Otherwise, you cannot really get into the practice Dharma. So then, of course, the spiritual practitioners, 100% first purity is practice Dharma. And we are just ordinary and samsaric beings. We have to take care of so many things. So due to our many conditions, and otherwise many, come to affected our life due to that. We have to take care of samsara, but also Dharma also not last purity. It is, important part. So if you put that category, Dharma is important part, your purity, then you can, engage in Dharma more than usually. So that's the we have to think and change ourselves. So that's we can change. Then that really helps for that Bardo, that helps reality of Bardo, that really helps becoming Bardo, change whole thing. If we don't change in right now, then we say I'm going to Bardo is change. It's not possible. I mean, we're going to change death Bardo and reality Bardo, becoming Bardo, not possible to change. So that's why we have to change right now. If we want to change other three Bardo, we have to change right now. Then go to this one, Bardo of dreaming or delusion of sleep. Means when we fall asleep. So, and when we are waking, it's called characteristics of dreaming Bardo. This Bardo is the same as a part of the living Bardo, birth Bardo, but a little bit different experience. That's why create a separate. Then also, if you practice more daytime, meditate, and you create a habituate, this dream also change. That's why we create a separate here. It's one of the method to introducing Dharma for people. So long as you can change dream, then that recognize you change in the death Bardo and reality Bardo and becoming Bardo. So this is the one of the sign, you practice is effect or not much. If you dreaming is changing, then you really changing, becoming Bardo, death Bardo, and becoming Bardo. So that's why this is also important. The essence of a sight, taste, smell, touch, and sound dissolve into consciousness, no consciousness feeling. This sleeping means, so same as death, truly, when we die. But this one is less suffering because we mind is like used to, we wanting, we want to sleep. Death is we don't want. That's why we're suffering. And this one, sleep, is we already used to, we wanting. Always we want to sleeping. That's why no suffering, because no fixation, grasping, something losing there. So that's why it's kind of the same, it's similar as a death. When we die, this sense of sight, taste, smell, touch, and sound dissolve into consciousness, no conscious feeling. And when you go to first sleep, it's all dissolving to the consciousness. Otherwise, you cannot sleep means like you not dissolving this signs of sight. The karmic waves of ignorance, then how to get you get dreaming. When you dissolve after this, karmic waves of ignorance gather in the experience of saints, faculties, arise as illusory dream experiences. So karmic waves, this ignorance gathering again, and then experience of saints, faculty arise again, illusory dream experience, totally different states. You get different kind of experience. That's why this, dream Bardo. So then, this dream Bardo, why we have to share here, why have to talk? Because it's a different experience. And also, long as you practice in the living Bardo, then you can change this one. So you don't have a illusory dream experience much. You have more pure experience dreaming again. So long as you have the pure experience in the dream, reality Bardo, no fractioning, no suffering feelings. When we talked in the soul offering, so Bardo beings, karma blowing, they don't have any choice. And someone has practiced in the living Bardo, they can control in the dream, then that person in the Bardo becoming, there's no suffering. They don't have fractionings and experience, impure experience. So that's why Bardo practice, like right now we living Bardo, we have to practice and change the dream too. If you have a good habit with it, then in the dream also, become used in the practice, Dharma. Many practitioner has dream is taken to the the cultivating meditate Dharma, practice Dharma there, cultivate virtuous deeds. So karmic waves of gather and its experiences forget its lucid dreams. The Bardo of dreaming or delusion of sleep, then things that must be considered in the Bardo of dreaming, what we experience in dreaming and while we are waking are actually both illusory. So when we wake up and right now we are actually meditation Bardo, but last night you have dreams, that's all is actually kind of illusory. So when you in the dream, when you wake up, all is illusory. Nothing is exists there. So we say, oh, dream is illusory, no exist. If you can recognize when you are in a dream state, you can turn your experience into virtuous practice. So dream is you can change in your practice during the daytime practice change the dreams. They have a different experience in the dream. This practitioner, Yidam deity practitioners, they go for sleep much better the daytime practice for them has. So they go to all this different kind of pure in the whole go for sleep, nighttime. Then they come back, they share the experience too sometimes, but some don't share, some share little stories, that's why it's they has like their own virtual reality. So they get different kind of pure light. Because when they go for sleep and they don't have this physical form, and then totally they're into the to the different states, the different experience. Then the practitioner realize, I mean, the Yedam deity, completion practitioner Yedam deities. Then if you completion Tara Yedam deity, you go to Tara Piola. You know, you have all that mandala. If you have a Chinrezak practice and completion Chinrezak, you have Chinrezak mandala whole night. So, you know, you go to that vision and you have that virtual reality. So that means that you already accomplished practice Yedam deity. Many this Yedam deity practitioner has that visions. So they share sometimes that part too. So I can share very short, like, you know, example. When my mother passed away, so Gaji Rinpoche, he said he recognized some, you know, is the passing. So then I asked him what is you have experienced. So he said he is in the Dripchin practice. So Dripchin is a practice Yedam deity. You know, we create a mandala and so many prayers going on. Different experience in the Dripchin. So that's we creating this pure, you know, vision and the pure perceptions, and we create our, you know, spiritual virtual reality. So Dripchin means 24 hours chant the mantras, practice a Yedam deity, create mandala. Yedam deity is a mandala. So the full prayer puja is really big, but we included in our sadhana. Just usually we practice a sadhana, short sadhana included there too. So we can elaborate it. It's called Dripchin. And so he was in the Dripchin practice, and his second mobile letter mandala shower blessing. And so that is it. See, he go for maybe sleep, and the vision is taken to in the different virtual reality. You know, it's a practice Yedam deity mandala. So then girl is follow him around the mandala shower blessing. So that's he's sharing, you know, like short information, but he has more, but he shared me only that part. So just I share with you that kind of, you know, practitioner and go for sleep means they go into different states. Because during the daytime, they're same with us, like practicing Yedam deity, and they're actually accomplishing used to in that mandala. And then when they go for sleep, and they go into that realm. So that virtual reality they has, they go into that state. Then that person, no Bardo. It's not becoming Bardo. Same is when they go for sleep, is they go to the pure lane, this experience, pure perceptions. So that's the, you know, I just share short story with Rinpoche. And you know, the practitioners who go into the spiritual virtual reality. That's why this all sadhana is come from. So sadhana is like some people just, you know, like create poetry, like thinking about, oh, I'm going to do something good, you know, writing something, then they create. Usually people think that, but not. The sadhana is truly actually come from this realizer who has and this virtual reality experience. First, Garchen Rinpoche, he created the white Tara sadhana. So that also he has this vision, Tara, and during his retreat, then he created the sadhana. And some teachers use like Tara's, you know, Tanka, and then the Tanka is equal to true Tara, and they're taking to the virtual, like pure perception and the Tara mandala, whole vision of that appear to. So that's why we say, oh, that's Sangha is very special treasure object because this teacher practicing, he has that kind of vision. But long as we don't create ourselves, if special object is there, but for us it's still same, just regular Sangha. So that's the reason we have this practicing, Dharma practice, especially Yidam deity practice. We're creating something. You can recognize when you are in a dream state, you can turn your experience into virtual practice. Some people in the dream, so you recognize, oh, I'm dreaming, this is not true. Then you can release, if like, long as you recognize in dream, it's a dream, then you're not suffering in the dreaming. Otherwise, we don't recognize dream is in the dream, then we are really fears everything. Same as the daytime, like someone chasing us, holding the gun. So we run. It's in the dream. So we are suffering. Same as in the daytime. So someone recognize, oh, it's a dream, it's a delusion. Then no one chasing us. It's gun, person is disappeared. Who has a gun, that person is disappeared. So your dream is stop there. That's why, we create habituate and during the life time means right now in the, waking up time, and create that habituate, recognize dream, no suffering in the dream states. Bardo of meditation or meditative concentration, this practice helps change the dream. This practice helps in the reality, Bardo. So, begins when we fall into meditative absorption, ends when we cease meditation. So begin we fall into meditation, absorption. So we're into the, starting teaching. Your mind is really focusing, listening the Dharma teaching. You are in there. You are part of the meditation concentration. Because you have concentrated when you hear the teaching. Otherwise, you cannot hear. So you are into the teaching, you have to concentrate your focus for teaching. Then you are in the part of this part of meditation. If you know concentrating, no listening, teaching, focusing, your body is there, mind is going somewhere, then you are not part of this meditation. So this practice helps change to death Bardo, dream Bardo, and becoming Bardo, reality Bardo. So that's why also important. Begins when we fall into meditative absorption, ends when we cease meditation. Characteristic of meditation, Bardo, no delusional experience of ordinary sentient beings. Afflictive emotions are subside. Minds are completely relaxed and spacious, or minds do not follow subtle thoughts. So meditation means general, I told you, many different levels of meditation. So right now we are in the meditation part of 2. Of course, like deeper level is non-conceptual and Mahamudra, no delusion, be into the true nature state. So that is the highest level. And then of course, like we can come also part of the shamatha meditation. You focus on object, focus with the breath and mind, not to follow the thoughts. You visualize the Yidam deity. You focus with your practice. That's also can count part of the meditation too. That's changed the other Bardos. That's why we're practicing. So this image is the meditation. You have a kind of different experience, not samsaric experience. Not you engaging worldly activity. So you stop the worldly activity and then you something and go into the spiritual path. So that is called meditation, Bardo meditation. So now the next is Bardo of meditation, meditative concentration, things that must be considered in the Bardo of meditation. Recognize the nature of the mind is meditation, will be of benefit to us when we enter in the Bardo of reality. So there's virtuous practice, different levels in the becoming Bardo benefit. Long as you really meditate, Mahamudra, recognize true nature, that change Bardo of reality. Bardo of reality is recognized or not. You can liberate in the Bardo of reality or yes or not. It's depending your meditation. If you have meditation in the right now living Bardo, we are living Bardo, recognize true nature of your mind, then benefit us when we enter in the Bardo of reality. You recognize that Bardo of reality arises, you recognize its true nature. So you liberate the Dharmakaya. If you practice then Yadam Deity, there's also different state. After this, another state, Bardo of appearances get benefit. Then you cultivate virtuous deeds, different kind of practice, Dharma, meditations, helps benefit becoming Bardo. Okay, so no, that part is all is in the living Bardo. We have Bardo of birth, living Bardo, Bardo of dreaming, Bardo of meditation. So now we go into the Bardo of death. Bardo of death begins when clear signs of death start to manifest, ends when the outer and the inner breath has ceased. Characteristic of Bardo of death. Once the process of dying begins, it cannot be stopped or reversed. Not be prayers, rituals, or medicine. There's nothing from this life that you can take with you, only your spiritual practice accumulated positive karma can benefit you. So that is a dissolution stage. And so when our bodies know it's a 5 elements, it's dissolving to the 5 elements. Also, we actually recognize, we're going to die. So doctors say, oh, you can stay only within 1 week, 2 weeks. So that is already, then that time is started, the death of Bardo. Because when you hear that voice, words from the doctors, you recognize you're going to die within weeks. Then your experience totally go to different states. So your feeling is different. So you're don't thinking about, no, I'm going to get job, I'm going to education, I'm going to buy the home or something like that. It's already gone, that thoughts. You have different kind of thoughts, more worry, suffering. So you don't want to losing. You're not thinking about creating anything, something. You're not thinking about wanting to get something. You don't want to lose. So this part is experiences with losing. That's why the people when die, they have so much suffering because everything's going to lose. Experience losing, experience death of a Bardo. Once process of dying begin, can not be stopped. See, reverse. No buying prayer, ritual, or medical. No one can stop. It's already end of the life. There's nothing from this life that you can take with you, because that time then recognize cannot take anything with us. But we don't want to left. We want to be with us, take with us, but cannot take anything with us. So that's why that is the most suffering for dying person. And that's the reason Bardo Tudor practicing many this Dharma practice is letting go. No attachment to left behind. So long as we have attached to left behind, then mind cannot liberate. Mind is stuck into samsara. So take rebirth again, or this whatever we object, mind is stuck to the attached to object, that is become harm for us, causes of suffering. So that's why we meditate impermanent. You know, changing, nothing is permanent. Meditate emptiness, and practice Dharma, create pure perceptions. So that's all change this death of Bardo suffering. Then next one, things that must be considered in the Bardo of death. At the moment of the death, it is important to let go of this life. Point your mind towards your spiritual teacher or three jewels, and rely on your mother and others' practice of power. So rely on these things. So we have to let go all the samsaric, everything, let go. Whatever we're going to left behind is let go, not attached to that. Let go of this life. Then point your mind towards your spiritual teacher. So if you have spiritual teacher, call the spiritual teacher. You know, supplication. And the spiritual teacher with Yadam deity, usually someone practice Yadam deity is you can hold this together. Spiritual teacher, Yadam deity is inseparable. So towards the spiritual teacher and the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Rely on your another practice of power. So also power, if you have a power practice before die, so record that also too. That practice, visualize Buddha Amitabha, visualize yourself as Vajra Yogini, visualize the central channel, just mentally, you know, your consciousness is leave your crown. So record that part. When this death Bardo comes, you cannot really practice that, you know, Dharma due to the cause is the death of suffering. So you can mentally recall again. If you don't need to, you not really need to follow by words, chanting prayers. Mentally, just create all these power visions yourself, and that also helps. Consciousness dissolve into space, and the space is dissolved into clear light, luminosity, and the inner breath ceases. So that means dying. Inner breath ceases means then 100% death. Outer breath ceases is still not really death. Called inner breath ceases, then that's called death. But I don't know this right now. In the doctors say, okay, pronounce it, you are dead, means that could be they're talking about outer level. Spiritual level death is inner breath ceases. So inner breath takes like maybe 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. That's why if you have opportunity and your body just stay same place maybe 3 days. So that is the best if you have opportunity to do that conviction. If you have that conviction. If not, then no choice. Just we have to recognize outer breath ceases, then it's called death. But then that time someone come to do power, also spiritual friend, read the Bardo Theodores, and dedication, prayers, everything benefit. Very powerful. Especially you have a connect with the prayer practice, powers, this ritual, any Dharma activity in the living Bardo, then our Dharma brother, sister who come and do some prayer practice, the benefit. But power is only during the, you know, ceasing the breath. Ceases breath, like outer breath is gone, inner breath is there, and inner breath is going to, you know, ceases. That time you have to do the power in the front of the body. Otherwise, not much benefit. Of course, it's a Dharma, but it's better to do Buddha Amitabha, Emaho, this long one, aspiration, Sukhavati prayers, and the King of aspiration, King the Zambo prayer, and that kind of short, dedication is better for our ability. Power is good, but body is not there with you, and then the time is gone. So that time is too late. It's for our ability. Our ability means if someone has a really high realizer, then that never too late, never too late. But for our beginner practitioners, we don't have that much, practice level, higher level, and then it's kind of like death already there, so it's too late. So that's why going to do Poa is the right timing for beginner practitioners, not after death, gone. So, or you can connect with the disease, the consciousness, then no count, never too late. But as long as you cannot connect with the disease consciousness, then it's too late. So always Sukhavati prayer is great, always. Okay, that is our ability we can do. Some Dharma brothers, sisters always talking about Poa, I'm going to do Poa, that person. I did Poa, it's good, it's your good intention, but it's don't think about your consciousness is transformed to the Buddha Amitabha pure line. Because that time, conviction have to be there, and you also have really good practice Poa yourself first. Yeah. And then Poa for doing the disease, not the same prayer is usually we use like our practice Poa sadhana. There has different sadhana. So you can use right now, we use Poa practice. The sadhana, someone die, you can use that because due to your good intention, the conviction, you want to have someone doing that practice Poa is really benefit you. That time also you doing yourself, Poa is good too, I think so. That's I think so. Someone dies, we do just something, it's that benefit us. We don't know how much benefit for the disease. So could be the connections too. But the Poa usually, ordinary people do Poa for someone is right timing. And then there has also different sadhana. And the realizer can do anytime, never too late. So that's you have to know. For our ability, good is always Sukhavati prayers, never end. Never too late, always there. Consciousness dissolve into space, and the space dissolve clear luminosity, and the inner breath ceases, then gone. So then that's one, this experience arise. Bardo of reality. Bardo of reality or inner nature of Dharmata. Means when the inner breath ceases ends, when one no longer has a physical form of flesh and blood. So characteristic of the Bardo of reality. Consciousness leave the body and dissolve into space, and then space dissolve into clear light luminosity. Inner breath ceases, the clear light luminosity that shines forth is the inner nature of the mind. So in this reality, Bardo, this Bardo teachings and slightly always sharing little difference, but generally same. Sometimes when you dissolving your consciousness, that time you have this reality. Some teachings says like your body mind is separate, and 3 days after your consciousness waking up, so that time this reality Bardo arise. So that says slightly little bit different. I think that's all is correct due to individual level. So the Bardo, this area experience cannot be same everyone. Because due to individual, capacity level practice. And some has so much negativity, some has less obstacle, some has like no obstacle. So many kind of the experience. I mean the situations are there. So that's why we cannot say exactly always this way. This is a generally sharing, but individually have a different experience. This generally happen, this kind of experience follow, but not everyone I think, because this reality Bardo also depend the individual. Some is a very short moment, some is stay longer. So depend on your mind ability. This is followed by your mind ability, practice ability, experience is. Some has a strong non-virtuous deeds, very strong negative deeds. This is like 100% black, never even shining anything there. So when they die, strong non-virtuous deeds, negative person, directly go to lower realms. The death process is going all the way, right away, go to the lower realms. No any this reality Bardo for that person. No becoming Bardo for that person. So this reality Bardo is high realizer meditators, practitioners who meditate Mahamudra in the living Bardo, who has used to in this meditation, Mahamudra, and habituate, strong, used to. Someone go for sleep, they go into meditate in the dream, in the sleep state. Then that person has this nature Bardo is, reality Bardo is like really strong, and they can liberate in this state. So when this reality Bardo is coming, looks like couple different areas coming, maybe not only one area. So death processing, like dissolution state also could be this. Sometimes like your nature is arising, but then last is a thing is when consciousness waking up. So usually there's when mind is separate from the body, then consciousness is lost, because it's so strong grasping fixation to our body, and you lose that, then mind is going to lost. No any experience, just totally gone. Some teaching says until 3 days. So 3 days, the consciousness, same as like when we morning waking up. And then that time this reality Bardo is arising. When they're waking up, they're in the nature state, no door. This is called no dualistic state. No door arise because of no any thoughts. So then meditators right away into that no door state, meditate. That is called reality. Reality Bardo is in chance the liberation to Dharmakaya called. They don't follow the thoughts. When this non-conceptual, non-dualistic Mahamudra nature state arise, you just into that nature states. You know, go more beyond in that, follow the thoughts. Then you liberate. Okay, so that's why whole long stay, then some people are very short term, and some stay like meditators have this experiences longer. Of course, not only longer, they're just 100% liberated there, that state. You don't have to go to other state. Who don't have Mahamudra instructions, so then they don't recognize this true nature. The same as when we wake up morning, it's very short. section, I think very short moment, this arising every morning we wake up is reality, but we don't recognize because like then short moment, this reality reality is arising, is no door, but then right way is follow I. So that's the samsara going then. Where is the samsara come from? This reality, true nature, because no recognizing, I goes dualistic. Then samsara is arising. So when is the samsara's end? The 100% end, the liberation, you recognize reality, true reality. That's why we have to meditate, to practice Mahamudra. We have to use to not only just know and know meditate Mahamudra, but we have to cultivate and use to habituate. Bardo of reality or inner nature dharmata, things that must be considered in the Bardo of dreaming. Those without experience with meditating on the nature of mind and recognizing that it's happening will go on to experience manifestation of peaceful and wrathful deities. See, after that, then your experience is wrathful deities. Manifestation of peaceful and wrathful deities. That is for the practitioner, Yidam deity practitioner. So after this, nature of mind and recognizing that is happening, will go on to experience manifestation of peaceful and wrathful deity, that appearances arise. Those who have practiced meditative observation and are able to recognize what is going on can avoid these manifestations and attain liberation in the part of reality. Those who practice Yidam deities, then that person has this ability to recognize. Okay, so that's a part is a Bardo of reality. Bardo of reality is recognize true nature, recognize experience is, Yidam deity. So that you have liberation there. And then this is the last one, Bardo of becoming. So this is usually called the Bardo. I just told you generally Bardo means, specifically Bardo means this one. Bardo of becoming begins when one has a Bardo body that has the nature of light, slightly luminous, giving of a glow, and when we enter a womb, Bardo of birth begins. So you don't recognize this reality Bardo, then going into this state. Who going to this state? Mostly ordinary people go to in this state. Someone don't have that much no virtuous deeds, negative deeds. Someone that much have virtuous deeds too. That much strong enough practice. That person is go to in this state. Bardo becoming begins one has a Bardo body that has the nature of light. So Bardo body has nature of light, slightly luminous, giving of a glow, and so when we enter our womb, Bardo of birth begin. Characteristic of the Bardo of becoming, the light from one's own body enables us to see where we are going. So the Bardo beings, did they have a sun and a moon? They hold to the see themselves, they have their own light. They recognize where they're going. Able to see all others wandering in the Bardo with them, one instantly goes to whatever place they think of except into the womb of a mother. So these Bardo beings, they can see each other, the Bardo beings. They don't, other beings that we don't see them, Bardo beings. Then who see them? The Bardo beings, they see each other like same as us, we see each other. They're seeing each other, Bardo beings. Because they are same state. then they don't have physical form. They have a mental form body, and that's why they, when the thoughts comes, they get extended there, you know, instantly goes to whatever place the thing of accept into the womb of a mother. They cannot go into the womb of a mother because not ready to take the birth. They don't have that karma taking the birth. The desire is wanted to take the birth, but they cannot. So Bardo beings also have some levels of clairvoyance. You know, that also creates suffering for them too. I think last week I talked to you know, Bardo being this recognize what the parents, I mean the relatives, the children, what they're doing, thinking. Recognize some levels of the clairvoyant, they recognize. Bardo of becoming, characteristic of the Bardo of becoming ends. We know all the thoughts of relatives and friends and can see people in the human realm. Beings suffer hunger, so this Bardo beings can see us, especially the relatives, friends. They're seeing that. They see the left behind the object, especially they see the special object, what they attach to object is very extremely attached to the object. They create causes of suffering. So beings suffer hunger, then Bardo beings no food. That's what really hunger, no drinks, thirsty, and cold and heat and all sorts of fear, anxiety and pain. That's why we're doing the soul offering, because it can help them, you know, hunger and thirsty, cold and sorts of fears. Pain. Beings are constantly transported from place to place by their unstable thoughts. They follow the thoughts. When thoughts comes, then they get there. They get constantly everywhere. Experience in the first half of the time in the Bardo are related to the life we left behind. So these people, I mean the Bardo beings, first 21 days, all experience is previous life left behind. They follow their previous life. They're looking the relatives, children, families, and the job, and their home, and all this source of the experience for them has. In the second part, experience shift to experience of the approaching next life. So then the last 21 days, they shift the mind. So, I mean, the 49 days, think about the Bardo beings stay 49 days in the Bardo. But that is just generally. Then 49 days after they have opportunity to take the birth, but could be they cannot find the body, future body. So it can be stuck years. So first 3 weeks, they all has experience about previous life, but very strong first week. Second week, maybe less. Third week, less. Then they go to change. So direction is like previous life, all the way experience is so strong. And then comes like go to center, you know. I mean that this 21 days, then go to like future, shift to future experience. That's why we forget all the previous life. Because after 21 days, you create habituate future life. You know, if previous life, the cow, first 21 is a cow's experience. Then if the cow is going to take birth to the human being, then the after that change experience, like they forget the grass taste, you know. So they forget they enjoy in the with the cows together and the environment. The perception is changing. To human beings, perception is creating, habituate is creating. So that's why you remove all the previous habituate, removing this. That is, you change it to the other realm. Animal realms transform to the human beings realm. Human being also can be go to the cows realm, you know, like then 21 days you have a human beings experience, but then after, you know, cows perception is strong and strong, the grass is, you know, more your food, delicious become. Yeah, and then the where cows live with, you know, that their home is more beautiful and special for them. So that kind of perception is creating. That's why you never ever think why I cannot remember previous life. Better don't remember. Good is. I don't want to remember my previous life. Could be cow, you know, could be dog. I don't want the experience, right? Better don't remember. It's good thing we don't remember previous one. Yeah, if you have a high realizer, then it's different. That's all. It's like bring the one, so something change. You know, their recognize and ordinary remember is different. Ordinary people better don't have a clairvoyance, knowing other people's mind. Otherwise, families cannot be stay one day together. Yeah, better no clairvoyance, because then otherwise this, you know, is so much miserable. You cannot drink tea, one cup of tea together. So that's why it's also the realizers has clairvoyance that knows, but then they're just seeing it's like everything is delusion, no attach, no fixation, no equanimity, and even the knows they cannot share for this part is like secret level. Buddha say that cannot share for anyone. The realizers cannot, practitioners cannot show their power. And that kind of, you know, saying your consciousness or you have these thoughts and these people thinking to you like this, then they create the causes of suffering each other. So the Buddha's teaching goal is not samsara, you know, like that kind benefit, power. Goal is liberation. So only focus for goal liberation, the Dharma practice. Okay, so experience first half of the term Bardo or reality into the left behind. In the second part, experience shift to experience of the approaching next life. Okay, Bardo of becoming. Things that must be considered in the Bardo of becoming. Majority of beings have a mixture of feature and non-feature and were wander for a while in the Bardo of becoming. Those who have engaged in strong non-virtuous deeds will instantly arrive in hell realms. If you committed great virtue in your lifetime, you will be directly to a Buddha's pure land. They don't have to go through in this state. As this state is not pleasant. The Bardo, you know, so sensitive, suffering. So we share the soul offering, the teaching last week is Bardo being's consciousness is the same as a bird's feather. Put in the wing blowing, wing karmic blowing. No stable. They cannot stay one place. And then their mind is so sensitive. Right now we have this body with mind together. It's our mind is more slow down, but Bardo beings no physical form, the consciousness is more sensitive than 6 times us, more sharper than 6 times us. That's why they're suffering. Then we can help them, Bardo beings, like we did in the soul teaching. So practitioners do dedication, relativists can dedication prayers during in this within 6 Bardo. I mean the last Bardo, becoming Bardo. So the when this disease be into this state, we can help them, benefit to them. So that time is a very strong support for this doing some virtuous deeds for them. This Bardo veins, same is like falling in the ground, no one support, no protections, and no friends. So you come to like give a hand to get up and giving some protections. Same like that. Is relativist family do dedication, generous city and create virtuous deeds practicing. So there we can help them, support to them too. That's why when relativists die in Tibetan culture, the 49 days never stop practice Dharma in their home. So the ritual practice dedication to them. So we lose someone, and even you don't have ability like congregations, ritual, monks come to do at your home 49 days, but you can do donations, ask them to pray for them, and you can do some practicing, you can give some, food for the homeless and who need. We can do some many ways like practice, like dedicated for them. So that's only helps liberating for them. Then this one said like negative person directly go to the lower realms. Who has virtuous deeds directly go to the pure line. So this who come into this state is like ordinary, no strong, no virtuous deeds, and no strong enough practice. That beings come into the becoming Bardo. So these beings only looking the rebirth, mother's womb. So we shared the Bardo. What is the Bardo? Dream Bardo. I think last time Dorje Jamsi, Nyada was the Bardo teaching. So and there see Dorje Jamsi, he's suffering hard to get next body. So it's very hard to get connections, not easy. That's why, so we have to, create a practicing Dharma in this life. So get convictions, good convictions, future life. And the Bardo then ready to take the birth, but Bardo being has more accumulation married than parents. You cannot take the birth. Or parents has more accumulation married than Bardo beings. You cannot go into that womb. So all they have the connections, karmic imprints, also previous life connections have come together. That's why it's very hard, difficult to get the future form body. So all the Bardo beings, they don't have a choice ready to take the birth. When 49 days finish, no choice. Then they don't have opportunity. So we, Dorje Jamsi, when we share the Bardo, Dhiren Bardo, the time, he looking for body, but how hard he get to get Bardo, the future body. Especially he going to like, good family, spiritual family, spiritual connections, future life is very hard to get in there. So now we have that all connection opportunity spiritual. The spiritual connections are hard, right? You recognize that teaching. So that's why now we recognize the Bardo, and our job is practicing. What is the benefit in the Bardo? That is, we have to more focus. Of course, no, this is samsara. I mean, living right now, we are living Bardo. It's important for us too. You have to take care of that too. If you don't take care living Bardo, then also you cannot take care becoming Bardo. So you lose both. You have to take care living Bardo correctly. Don't go too extremes. So too extreme is obstacle for the practice of Dharma. Too extremes, too materialism, and too much desire. That is another extreme. Another extreme is that you never taking care in this reality. I mean, the becoming Bardo, birth Bardo. Then you cannot taking care of yourself, your own body. Then extremely suffering, no opportunity to take care becoming Bardo. So that's why we study Dharma, this practice. We follow balance, recognize, don't free from two extremes. Don't go to two extremes. Follow the balance, middle way path. Yeah, so then your ability, one day you no longer attached to all this samsaric, then never affected it is a worldly, samsaric activities never affected your mind practice. So that is a different level too, different states. So now if you think, okay, I don't want to have any samsaric or worldly activity, I'm going to 100% spiritual, but still this samsaric activities affected to your life, then you're not ready to give up everything, but you need to take care balance. So that's the teaching today. Okay, so what time is? Oh, it's time is also time finish. Thank you, everyone. So have you, so many questions are coming.
I have questions.
Khenpo, may I just, before we get started, and at the end of these teachings, could you give us kind of some updates on what we'll be doing tomorrow, the times, and next weekend? Thank you.
Mute everyone, please. Okay, next. Tomorrow, what time is, I don't remember, what time is the tomorrow?
It's 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time.
7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. We're going to practice the soul. So last week I shared the teaching that we're going to practice then tomorrow. Morning, we don't have a teaching. Morning, we have only practice. Just regular practice teaching. I mean the regular practice. And then 7:30 we have this soul practice evening. Okay, so that's the tomorrow.
Excuse me, on Sunday morning practice, is it earlier or the weekday time? Is it the weekend time or the weekday time for the regular practice?
It is the weekend time, Rebecca, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Thank you.
Then what I have to share, then next Saturday, Sunday, so I'm going to share the Garuda teaching. Garuda teaching is Dzogchen teaching. So the commitment, you must have the commitment is you have to receive a whole thing beginning to end. And some reasons you really cannot join due to really something, your situation, something very important. Not just you say, I have to go to shopping. today, wanted to be with the friends or something, not that kind of excuse. If you're really important, like your job, due to your job or your family, something, so you cannot join, then we give it to we're going to provide you video recording for that person, only that person. So then what is, so the teaching, the teaching, the material is, we're going to provide only each time in the Zoom. So then I'm going to put in the chat room so you can have, so only that day teaching the topic, I mean that one's not whole thing. So you can receive only that day and that day. I know that usually here everyone has this, all the Mahamudra, Dzogchen teachings. Mostly we always have teaching, and many people has empowerment. We always practicing every day together. So you have, we all have opportunity. I think we can receive this teaching. So some request, like who going to join this teaching must have to have a basic at least teachings before. So you receive empowerment from, doesn't matter which lineage, Yadam deity connections practicing, or you have a basic, some really strong devotion, dharma. That is the key actually. So then you can join the teaching. So that's the coming Saturday, Sunday next week. Takes at least 2 months, I think. So it's a long teaching, but it's really beautiful. The Garuda is the most beautiful teaching. So easy to also connect with the nature mind. When you receive that teaching, then you appreciate ourselves too, human beings' body. Okay, so that's what I only can share today.
Just one addition, we are going to be registering people. Khenpo has instructed us to do that. So the registration will be open for 2 weeks. And after that time, then there won't be registration because there would be way too many videos to view. So, so if you're interested in these teachings, the emails will be coming out on Monday. So just be sure and register with the centers that you're receiving emails from. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Khenpo.
Thank you. So next you can ask questions.
Hey, Khenpo, I have a question.
Yes.
I understand the differences between the Bardo of birth and the Bardo of death, but as you pointed out, there's different circumstances around death. You cannot always control death. You can't control it. We're all going to die. You can't always delay death. Sometimes you are dead before you're born. Sometimes you're dead quickly after you're born. In the case of like a catastrophe, you can be dead instantly. So if we realize that death is inevitable and there is no stopping it, can't we say we're in the Bardo of death and birth at the same time?
Same time you mean death and the birth together?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think so. Same time. Yeah, it's we die so many different ways dying. So that's why it's prayer is naturally die, We pray that. If we don't have that, but anyway, practice, whatever we create, the practice Dharma is never lost. It's sometimes death condition is really terrible, bad. Due to that, go to, it's rebirth, take short time in the lower realms, but not stay too long, very short time. So that kind of happen. Yes.
I didn't quite understand that.
Oh, so due to our I have to charge. Sorry, my battery is gone.
Okay,
I want to change the space, and then can give you answers.
thank you.
Yeah.
Is it possible to do dedication before you answer another question?
Okay, so that's the first Lisa's question. I don't know. I understand, but I don't think so. Birth takes like you die and the birth again right away.
No, well, the point is we have no control over our death. We don't know when it's going to happen. It can happen in an instant. We're not
Yeah.
always going to be in a circumstance where our death is extended by 3 days, or it can be relieved by medication or prayer. So with everything being impermanent, including the Bardo states, and birth and death being two sides of the same coin, I see the death as part of the birth cycle.
Death of part of birth cycle. So that's I think it's depending how you think. Subtle level, yes. We every moment die, every moment born.
That's what I was thinking. We're dying a little every day.
Yeah, every moment is changing, but that is could generally, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Khenpo.
Yes and yes.
Hi, thank you, Khenpo. I had a question in regard to sleeping and dreams. As I was listening to you, I was on YouTube and came back over to ask a question. What do you suggest the problem is for people like myself who cannot remember dreams? The only time I really remember dreams, honestly, for years now, has been if I've been woken up suddenly while having a dream. Otherwise, every day I wake up, I never remember them at all, ever.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, I also don't remember. Wake up, forget.
Oh, okay. So don't worry about it, Khenpo.
Yeah, don't worry. And practice saying then that change to the dreams one day, but no worried dream is nothing change.
So do practice before I go to sleep also.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, Curtis.
I think some people would love to have the dedication before my question.
Okay.
I'll be glad to wait.
Because we've had a few.
Yeah.
He growled and he's
because he's not fixed. That's why that big dog.
He's
Okay,
very.
so Curtis, what do you say? We're going to do the dedication. Yes, that is the good. First one, we go to dedication, and then if someone want to have more questions, I can stay a little bit.
I have a question after dedication.
Okay. You're welcome. Dorjen Chang, Telopa, Naropa, Marpa, Malarepa, Dharma Lord Gambopa, Pamotropa, and Lord Digompa. Please bestow upon us most auspicious blessing of all the Kaju Lamas. By this virtue may I achieve our nations by defeating all enemies of confusion. May all who traverse on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise, where it is born, may it not decline, but it will increase higher and higher. I pray the Lama may have a good health. I pray the Lama may have a long life. I pray your Dharma activities are pray far and wide. I pray that I may not be separate from you. As Manjushri Devero realized all my state and as did Samanda Bada, I will follow in the path and fully dedicate all the merit for Saint beings. By the blessing of the Buddha who attained the three kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as a side, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order, may the Mary Asha bear fruit. By the virtues collected in the three times, by my seven or beings in samsara and nirvana, and by in the rule of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain and surpass perfect, complete, and precious enlightenment. May the teachings of Guru Gompa Rana Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation, until end of the samsara. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum Shu. Okay, Curtis, question.
It's a bit of a definition question about the dreaming state, similar to Jason's question. You have lucid dreaming. You might be lucidly thinking of Dharma or doing practice. And then you have where you're actually meditating sometimes in the dream state. And my question is, particularly when you're meditating in the dream state, are you in the Bardo of dreaming or are you in the Bardo of meditation?
Wow.
I think Bardo of meditation.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Please do that, Curtis.
I every once in a while, but not very often.
Good.
I think we all, now that we're doing Dharma, find ourselves doing, thinking spiritual thoughts in our meditation sometimes, and sometimes we're actually meditating. I think it's happening.
Yeah. Okay, Anna.
Hi, Khenpo. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. My question is about in which Bardo a realized and liberate being like Buddha and really higher bodhisattvas beings and practitioners are, in which Bardo they are living? Because because it seems that when they are liberate, they are in another space of consciousness, non-duality, like this Bardo of reality, isn't it? I don't know.
Yes, kind of that. They have different realms and no dualistic. Yes, free from samsara. So no same experience for samsaric beings.
But they are free of this but in the Bardo of birth, they are living in this other state, isn't it?
We can say they are living in other states, but no information for right now because they're beyond for us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Melissa.
Khenpo, one teacher once said that Buddhists are the luckiest people in the universe, and I feel this with you, and especially the Garuda teachings coming up.
Lotion.
One sec.
Everyone, mute.
So, Khenpo, there's all these detailed teachings about the Bardo, but ultimately, isn't the most important thing is to just have complete devotion to the suchness mind of the Guru, especially when you are dying?
So that really helps, yeah. Devotion helps. And connect with the Guru, is Yadam, and you could be the person who has opportunity to take birth to Devachi. So that is the one of the important key is devotion. Is the when we die is record the Guru Yadam and create the devotion, then that person can be go to Devachi.
Thank you.
Yes, Steve. Two Steve. Okay, first one. Steve Kafukola.
Oops. Can you hear me?
Oh, Steve. Okay, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So in the Bardo of Death, we see these like a demon and maybe angels And my question is, we see the picture of these from a Tibetan cultural perspective. So is it possible that from a Western perspective, these demons, angels, Buddhas would look different maybe from a Tibetan look?
So that is they have a lot of information. Part of yes, part of not.
Okay.
So this the deities, this appearance like what we have tangas. This is the all symbolizes pure percepts create, realizers visions. So we have to that create, otherwise no introduction to impure perception. And then there's some sections you can have a change to part because create a perception also have like little bit followed by traditional culture. Some there has different called like recollection of purity. So it's a recollection of purity aspect showing the true nature. That part you cannot change. So others yes, can be changed. Example like Vajra Yogini has a neck that cannot change. Okay, Vajra Yogini has like peg of head that cannot change. So peg is not good for. I mean, like doesn't matter where it's a peg in the United States or in the Tibet or everywhere. Peg don't recognize clean and dirty. Same peg. So that aspect you cannot change. Could be we can change some part of the like ornament. Or some doesn't like the gold. The gold is terrible for them. So then we can put something different color that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so now next is another Steve. Other Steve, please.
Hello, Rinpoche. Thank you very much for your teachings, as always. I have two questions very quick. One is, what's the force that brings us from Bardo of death to the Bardo of rebirth? What's the force? Is it the karmic winds? Is it who?
Karma influence, karma.
But
karma condition, karma. Of course, the karma is we have a karma to take birth every kind of realms. But condition, which one's appear to there? First one, that is take birth. So you got to think about the law. You don't know where you're going. You don't have a GPS. So many intersections, the road like goes like different kind of 6 different directions. But then you just guess like you go one direction. You cannot go 6 of them. So you're going to take one. So that is taken to your condition, to that realm.
Thank you. And the other question is, there are 8 levels of mind. The alaya is the root, the base consciousness. So what is it that transmigrates, at least from the crown, that goes to the other realm? Is it the chitta? Is it what?
You mean 6 consciousness?
No, the 8 consciousness. Alaya Vijnana is the root. Yeah.
That time we're not talking about 8 consciousness, 6 consciousness, only 1 consciousness.
Why?
Other also different aspects. So.
Oh, okay. Eye, nose, tongue. Yeah.
Okay, so 1 consciousness is we transforming our crown. So we don't talking about the 6 consciousness. Okay.
So even the alaya Vijnana, Rigpa, is a support for the other ones, right? So when the mind goes, it's still part of Rigpa.
So everything is one. That time we don't talk about which consciousness, because one house has many windows. We don't talking about which windows, just talking about the house. Yeah.
Thank you.
Each window see different directions, different, but we're not talking about which window see which view, which burden, which like kind of experience. Just all talk about one house. Okay, so now it's Robert.
Hello, Khenpo. Thank you so much for the teachings. I'm curious what the if you could maybe clarify the relationship between the Pure Land and the Bardo. Is the Pure Land's part of the Bardo, or is it outside of it completely? And what's the relationship and the connection?
It's we are free from Bardo, then you go to Pure Land. Bardo is not Pure Land. Bardo is a samsara in this within the 6 realms. The pure realm is free from the above the samsara. So 6 realms is cyclic existence. Bardo is a part of a cyclic existence. Okay, Lisa.
Yes, Khenpo, going back to the dreaming Bardo, the presentation stated there are no conscious feelings when you're in the dream Bardo, but you also touched on the fact that you can be very aware that you're dreaming when it's occurring. So I am always very aware that when I'm in the dream state that I'm there, but I do experience smell, I experience taste, and if I like dream somebody like stabs me with a knife, I really feel that. I've also had circumstances where I've been dreaming that I'm like in the hospital dying and I'm not breathing. And it's the awareness of, okay, I'm in a dream state. I wake up and I really am having a breathing issue.
Yes,
So
yes.
in that case, it's the reality causing the dream. So can't we be, while we're in the dream Bardo, can't we be in another Bardo at the same time?
That's called dream Bardo. So dream Bardo has exactly same as in the like right now we waking up. You know that experience is same, but I think your question is like we say when we go for sleep, all this senses is going to dissolve.
Yes.
Then of course like you another karmic ways waking up again, another senses again. Same is like we you know when you wake up in you all this senses is arise again. So in the dream also exactly take the another senses too.
So
that's why you have that all the same feeling is living, you know, right now waking in the no sleep, we are waking. So same experience in the dream.
So it's the same experience as if we're in the birth Bardo, but we're actually in the dream Bardo. Because I don't know about other people, but I dream in color too. So
yes, yeah, it's just, you have the same experience when you waking and like go sleep, dream, same experience. But difference is like go fast sleep means this our 5 senses is dissolved, but waking up again 5 senses is delusionally.
okay. I know there's also people who are clairvoyant in their dreams and intuitive through their dreams. So I guess it's a subject for another time.
That's why it's called delusion, means like cannot control. There's so many there.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Unbelievable dream is like you can jump, you can fly, and you can die. You can do everything, but still you are there.
Yes, well, a lot of the time, the dreams that I have, and people know this, who really know me, know this about me. A lot of the times, the dreams that I do have come true, and I've also had this experience where I will dream something, and I'll call my mother, and she had the same exact dream, and then I call my brother, and he had the same exact dream. We all had the same dream on the same night. So there's got people who work.
Yes, Lisa. So I give you that answer. It's generally, of course, right now we not talking about like, oh, this is good or bad. It just generally it's called dream. Bardo means one. And then this is like right now we focus how to this dream is using to the virtuous deeds, how to transform it. So that's why we have to practice in the waking state. So that is the teaching. But your answer, your, like dream recognize something, what go happen next month, next year. Yes, that is true. So the dream, that kind is different, different teaching. I mean, the different information. So that is all just our delusion, how to like recognize our delusion, also recognize something. Delusion recognize delusion. So when you go for sleep, there create the 3 sections. Night is 3 sections. If you go sleep 11 o'clock, then you 11 to 2 between your dream is go to perverse habituate. Okay. Could be perverse life, could be perverse in this life, and already passed. Just follow the path.
Yes.
2 to 5 between is follow the nightmare and like we call is obstacle, and but something like is in the environment and the spirits and that kind of the condition area. And 5 or 4 to then if you 4 to 5:30, then you're waking up. That dream is called feature.
Oh, okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Khenpo.
That's why you recognize that something happening, but not always.
I never knew that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Khenpo.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Khenpo.
Great teaching,
Sangha.
Khenpo.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Khenpo.
Sangha.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Khenpo.
Day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Garuda.
Thank you.
Kashi Delek, be safe.
Bye, everyone safe.
Sarvama